The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by HotMovies.com. Try out some ethical paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret recurring subscriptions when you sign up at HotMovies.com/bonus and use the promo code MANWHORE. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Shout out to all the male feminists and everyone who doesn't believe them. This is Billy Procida, and you are listening to the Man Whore Podcast. Oh, hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to my show where I talk to women I've hooked up with about sex, dating, and why we didn't work out. This week's guest I have not seen in a couple years. It's been a while. Nicole is joining me on the podcast this week, and I cannot wait to share her with y'all in a bit. But first, show dates, people. Show dates. All right. Tonight, August 8th, if you are listening to this on the day it is released. But of course, you don't have to listen to this podcast on Wednesdays. It's a podcast. You have agency in the world. You listen to this wherever the fuck you want to. But tonight, August 8th, I'm going to be in Connecticut at Comics at Mohegan Sun on the 8 p.m. show. It's not too late. If you're listening to this on the way home from work, maybe you're driving back to Hartford, turn around, baby. You can still make it to the 8 p.m. show at Mohegan Sun. Come on out. If you want to stay up to date with all my show dates, if you want to be notified when there's something in your area of the country worth coming out to, sign up for my mailing list, manwhorepod.com. Even if you don't want to come out to a show, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Man Whore Podcast news or be automatically entered for really awesome giveaways, go to manwhorepod.com, sign up for the mailing list. You'll see the sign up on the right-hand side on desktop, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom on mobile, you'll see it there. How was Man Whore Con, right? That's what you all want to know. I know I can tell it's on your brain. The problem is I can't tell you because Man Whore Con hasn't happened yet. I'm recording this way in the past. Hi. Yeah, I'm still recording this on the Sunday before Man Whore Con, getting my ducks in a row, giving myself a mini podcation so that I'm not stressing myself out the days before Man Whore Con, but that I'm also allowing myself to enjoy and relax in the wake of what is going to be an amazing, sexy, kick-ass weekend. So you're just going to have to wait till next week. Tune in then to hear how it all went down. But if you want to see how Man Whore Con was, you can go check out my social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at @TheBillyProcida. You can go check out the Man Whore Podcast Facebook fan page. Just search Man Whore Podcast. But, oh man, let's just assume it was great. Okay. Here's another thing that was great. And it's not often that I'm plugging other podcasts out of the blue. A few weeks ago, I was recommending Hedonist from Grant Irving, talking about New York City sex parties. But I listened to an episode of a show I don't really listen to. Lila Donello, I think I'm saying her last name right. I never have to say her last name. Lila Donello. It took me long enough to know it was Lila and not Leela. Billy takes a while to learn things. Look, Lila Donello runs a podcast about, I don't even want to say it's a sex podcast. It's like really more of an intimacy podcast. But obviously that spills over into sex, sexuality, dating, relationships, love, gender. She does a show called Horizontal with Lila, which is literally what it sounds like. She gets horizontal, she lies down with her guest, and they chat. And I'm gonna admit I'm not an every week listener. I don't even think I'm subscribed. But I listened to this one episode that she was promoting on Facebook that talked about how to say no graciously. It's episode 46, Horizontal with Lila, episode 46, with a woman, Marsha B, who I was not familiar with and with whom I would like to become familiar, because they had a fantastic conversation, not just about consent, but about boundaries and enforcing those boundaries and learning how to say no. And I think saying no, and also equally important, receiving no. Giving and receiving no's, I think, are so fucking crucial. So crucial in advancing consent culture, in changing the way we view sex and entitlement and asking for sex and how to turn people down, and how some people will fuck people because they're too nervous to even say no. This episode was fantastic. It really just was spot on, and I highly recommend listening to it. I'm a big fan of you should be able to ask for almost anything so long as you're also okay with hearing no. Like, you should be okay with me asking if you know I'm okay hearing no, so that you don't feel like you're going to be put in an awkward situation or a violent situation should you advocate for yourself. You know, at Hacienda, a lot of times during the consent workshop, they will, for the newbies, they will tell people that you need to ask before touching or engaging in various sexual activity. And if someone says no, that what you should say is thank you. You should say thank you for taking care of yourself. Anyways, go check out the show Horizontal with Lila, episode 46. I am endorsing no other episodes. Except I think episode 11A with Renee, because I did listen to that one. Look, I don't listen to the show, but I listened to episode 46, and I thought it was fucking dope, and I think it should be required listening for everyone. The saying no graciously ties into what I want to talk about next. Is a fuck buddy of mine has ended things. This is a woman I went on a date with. She made it clear early on she was not interested in me romantically. I was interested in seeing where this was going to go, but she told me early on enough that she really just wanted to fuck me. That for me, she didn't think she's not poly, and that I think the sex podcast kind of makes her a little uneasy. That's fine. That's okay. And I appreciated that she was so direct. She was just like, look, I don't see this going in this direction. I'd like to fuck you. You're good at sex. Let's do that. I'm like, dope. She went away on a thing. She went camping, and then she's gone for like 10 days, and then she got back, and I hit her up, and I said, hey, want to do a welcome home fuck tonight or tomorrow? And she responded, hi, I think we may have run this one out. I want to be looking for something more serious for a bit. To which I replied, aw, shucks. That's what everyone says when they get rejected, right? Aw, shucks. Snap. Gosh darn it. I was like, aw, shucks. And just to clarify, serious for you still means monogamous, right? And she said, yeah, and not sex podcast having, unfortunately. It's been fun, 5 stars, but this is not long-term compatible, and I'm getting that itch again. And now now some people may freak out. Some people might start asking questions. But like, why? Why can't this be a more serious thing? Why can't we do something that allows me to put my penis in you again? Why can I get more information? Can I get more answers? Because, answers, they're not going to change anything, but they'll momentarily make me feel probably worse. Great. Or there's the version of where just people get fucking angry and just, well, fuck you anyway. I don't even, you've set, you know what? 5 stars? Well, you know what? You were a 1-star, Uber bitch. I'm not going to do that. What good does that do? And not for nothing, she kind of leaves a back door where she says, I'm going to look for something more serious for a bit. I said, I get it. May seem redundant, but if you end up horny and want to fuck again, you are very fun. I'll be down to make the trip uptown. And good luck scratching that itch. To which she replied, I will definitely, all caps, oh yeah, I will definitely let you know. A little wavy emoji and a kissy emoji. And that's how all breakups that aren't like super serious, more complicated relationships should be. You fucking somebody, you go do the Tinder stuff, don't ghost, don't ignore, just like don't leave them hanging on and keep saying you're busy for 4 months. Just fucking say it. It's okay. I like to think that she would have, if I hadn't reached out, she would have said something. But yeah, that's it. That was textbook how this should go down. Hey, want to do this? Yeah, I don't think so right now for a while. Clarificatory question, clarifying answer, plus a positive, but I got to do my thing. And I say, okay, good for you. And I leave my back door wide open. And she says, yeah, keep it open. You know, I might show up one day. And that's it. Even if she said, yeah, I just think I'm done with this entirely. That's still like this. That's how it goes down. She gave a no graciously, and I received it graciously. And I say that as a guy who has definitely not taken no's graciously in the past. This is something I've had to learn for sure. And I hope you do that in your life. Anyways, it's time for Did You Know? A little segment brought to you by hotmovies.com. And they are hot movies. I've been watching them quite a lot recently. This is a portion of the show where I like to share 5 fun facts about the adult entertainment industry that you may or may not have already known. Fair warning, most of these are things you may not, probably not, have known. I certainly didn't know a lot of these. Did you know Janice Griffith was once thrown from a roof by Instagram founder Dan Bilzerian? I had to look this one up. I had to look, the fact checker in me was like, I'm going to go look that one up before I say that. But no, seriously, that's apparently happened. Dear Lord. I also don't know why we're opening with such a violence against sex worker fun fact, but I guess that is the fact. Did you know before porn, Tana Lee worked as a prison guard at a men's correctional facility, of which she said, "That's when I first realized I liked the tension, when I worked in a prison with 2,332 men jacking off to you every night." Oh wow, Tana Lee. I'm so happy she showed up. I met Tana in Vegas at AVN when I was interviewing Kendra Sunderland. She was hanging out in the room, occasionally chiming in, and now sometimes we tweet at each other. Oh, that's fun. I'm going to go ask her about that. Did you know Asia Carrera played classical piano at Carnegie Hall at the age of 13? Attended Rutgers University on a full academic scholarship, and she is a member of Mensa. And she fucks on camera. Those are all fun facts that do not have to be mutually exclusive. Wonderful. Did you know game company Nintendo bought the rights to the film Super Hornio Brothers to keep it from being distributed? Oh, that's funny. That movie needs to be leaked. That needs to be bought. It needs to be leaked. The world deserves to see Super Hornio Brothers and Donald Trump's P-tape. These tapes need to be made public. Did you know California's Center for Sexual Studies recorded a male having 16 orgasms in the course of 1 hour? He holds the record for most orgasms in an hour. That's impressive. I know all you non-dick wielding people listening may not get it, especially if you're multi-orgasmic, but I think the most I've done in 24 hours was 8. The most I did in a night, like in a session with one partner, was 5. And I was exhausted. 16. I mean, his poor penis. I hope he had lube, because the chafing alone must have been terrifying. But that was our segment. Did you know? Thank you to hotmovies.com for sharing that with us. And you can try hotmovies.com for free. For free, people. And it's the type of free porn where you don't have to feel guilty about it, because it's ethical paid for porn. You can get 20 free minutes on top of any package you sign up for when you go to hotmovies.com/bonus. They do offer a free trial. So if you use my promo code MANWHORE, your 20-minute free trial turns into a 40-minute free trial. And after you finish up your 40 minutes, I'm confident you're going to want to pay for a little bit of your porn. Hotmovies.com is a pay-per-minute porn site, which is really an affordable, ethical way, I think, to start dumping some money back into the adult entertainment industry, which is what we kind of need to do. Again, go to hotmovies.com/bonus. Use promo code MANWHORE. And now for this week's guest, Nicole, who you can't find her on hotmovies.com, but she looks like you could. Oh my God, what a knockout. She is gorgeous. Nicole, I slept with a few years ago. She was a fan of the podcast, showed up to a comedy show. We hooked up. And then we were talking a bit. We met a couple times, and that was about it. And then we kind of disappeared. We had a falling out, and I'm so glad that we were able to reconnect and do so on mic, because I think the chemistry was still kind of there. There's like still a giggling, nervous energy. And she stuck around after the podcast for like another 20, 30 minutes, just like talking, sitting on my bed, me kind of squirming, trying to make conversation, but also not hit on her, but also like low key kind of hit on her. She does affirm that like I should stop sleeping with listeners, because as soon as we stop sleeping together, they stop listening to the podcast, and that's not going to be good for the numbers. That's just not wise. But I really am happy that she came on. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you listen to me reconnect with Nicole.
Is this how you start? This is why it's always like, oh, are we like starting now?
Yeah, something like that. That, and I'm just like ripping off Mark Maron and every other podcast that does that model of like, oh no, we just like naturally fade in 20 minutes in. They're like, are we recording? They were like, yeah, the whole time.
I would have been more interesting. Fuck.
Yeah. No, you're playing interesting. You made the big mistake of having sex with me. So that makes you a very interesting person, apparently, according to listeners.
Yes. Okay.
Or you can tell me, because you were a listener. Or do you still listen to the show?
I stopped.
Okay.
And after you texted me, I listened to a couple episodes. So sort of again.
Okay. That seems to be a thing when I like reconnect with listeners who I've had sex with, and then we stopped having sex. They also stop listening to the show, which means I really should stop fucking fans, because I will then lose them.
Yeah.
And I can't afford that.
Sorry.
Okay, no, but that's fine. That's fine. No, yeah.
Yeah, I unsubscribed.
It's okay. And was that like when we like stopped?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? I went to our texts, right? And I found a lot, but I did not quite get to the why we stopped hooking up or why that was out. I think I found it, but I'm not sure. I don't remember it being angry. Nothing that would cause someone to unsubscribe. So what's your... do you want to start backwards and start with why it stopped, or do we want to start with like how it started?
Up to you.
What are you feeling? You're saying you're angry?
It stopped because that's what you just brought up. Right?
Sure.
So why it stopped was because I had met another comedian who I was sleeping with. Mm-hmm. And
who gets booked way more than I do.
No, it wasn't even. It was just, so I met him. I don't like sleeping with more than one person at a time.
I thought you were going to say more than one comedian at a time. I'd be like, that is such a wise decision.
Well, yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just in general, even if it's just a week, even if it's whatever, I just like one person till it's done. Mm. So I met him, and when we first had sex, because, you know, me having orgasms is a little bit tricky. Mm-hmm. So when we first had sex, I had an orgasm. And so I was following the orgasm. And I would have been cool with like hanging out with you again at some point. But then that other thing happened where I thought that you should have told me something. We could be vague about that.
Do you want to be vague about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I overreacted in retrospect. So sorry. I think I apologized though. I'm sorry.
I don't think there was an apology, but like it just ended so like calmly that it's not necessary. It's fine.
Yeah, I was whatever. Whatever. It ended up all being ridiculous, and afterwards I was like, ah shit. Maybe I was a little crazy, but that's usually my thing. I get a little crazy, and then I realized So that's why we ended things.
Okay. I thought it was because you had just said, like, you know what, you're right. I can't handle casual sex right now. That's why I had thought it was. Because I know there was like things rocky with the ex, and I didn't know if it was the XX or with the comedian, and there's some other things. So you're like, you know what, maybe casual sex isn't for me.
Yeah, well, that was a little bit too. I don't enjoy casual sex at the time when we met. So I had just broken up with an ex, and he was very boring, vanilla. But he also had a foot fetish that I knew he had, but he didn't ever tell me he had it. Like when I first had sex with him, he had my legs on his shoulders, right? And then he turns his head and he starts licking my toes, and then he came. So afterwards, like I think it was the day after, we were like texting and talking about it, and I was like, I was like, that thing you did with my feet, I was like, was that for me or was that for you? Because, you know, I mean, I like people licking and whatever anywhere on me, you know, I don't care.
Okay.
So
Kneecaps, go for it.
right, I don't care. Somebody was into my armpits. Somebody actually was into the back of my knees. I'm like, oh, whatever.
That's such a thing, and I've like that's not the first time I've heard of that. They like the back of the knee,
Yeah.
the armpit, these like creases.
Yeah. So like, it's not unusual. And I mean, with my line of work, I'm comfortable with it. So I asked him in a way that I thought was comfortable enough for him to tell me, like, yeah, I have a foot fetish, like, let's explore or whatever. But he was like, no, I did that for you. And I was like, no, you didn't in my mind, but I didn't know how to call somebody out on it. So we had our whole relationship where he was lying about having this foot fetish that I knew he had, and that's all he wanted to do that was like a little bit kinky. And so that was another reason, like, I kind of reached out to you, 'cause, like, you're very open. Like, I like people who are open sexually, and, yeah, I thought it could be fun, but then, you know,
How did you reach out to me again? Did you just like shoot me an email? Because you came to a show is how we met. You came to one of the comedy shows I was on.
Yeah, but, I don't remember, like, what I said, but I sent you an email saying something or
Something
other.
like that.
And
Okay.
we talked, and then you said, you know, I'm going to be at the show, and I was like, all right, well. And I listened to that episode with that other comedian guy.
David Piccolomini?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So I love this story because I just like, I felt accomplished. Like I brought people I made a lot of sex happen for people.
I heard, yeah.
Yeah. So there was a comedy show I was on several years ago at the Sidewalk Cafe. I think it might have been Jefferson's show. And you came, you brought a friend, and then after the show, and we had been like flirting a little bit, and then after the show, like we're talking, and your friend and David were talking, I think.
Yeah.
And they were hitting it off. And then there was another listener who showed up to the show, and she kept like, oh, hey, Billy. And so she kind of joined the pool. And then out of fucking nowhere, some guy that I used to deal poker with in New York City
I
also
remember that.
Yeah. He also happened to be at the bar. Not for the comedy show. He just happened to be there. So I was like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing? So he joins the group. So we hooked up. David and your friend went home together. And then that listener and my old poker buddy, they started making out or got exchanged numbers or whatever. And I'm like, oh, look what I did.
It's a love fest.
Yeah. I was like, yay. So that felt fun.
Yeah. I really hated David that day because I have a very girly voice. I sound very blonde, which whatever.
She's not. Yeah.
Right. I'm not blonde at all. But when we were all talking, the first thing that he said, I think to our little group and to me, he said something about me sounding like a Valley girl or just making fun of my voice. And whoever listened to that fucking episode can hear his voice. Like, you know, let's all relax.
Oh, you think his voice is a little funny?
Just a little.
How so? Do tell.
A tad bit. It's a distinct voice.
Go on.
I mean, but that's it. I'm not gonna.
He was giving me shit at the creek in the cave the other night, so I just want to hear
Why?
someone. No, he was drunk and like we were just fucking around, and he called me unfunny. So I was like, I would love to hear someone roast him.
I mean, but that's the thing. I don't enjoy insulting people. So whatever. His voice is just too unique to insult somebody random that he doesn't know, you know? So from that point on, I was like, this guy's an asshole. I told my friend actually not to go back with him because I was like, this guy's a dick. And he ended up being a dick, so.
To her?
Yes, but I only know one side, of course. So.
Yeah, but it's probably the better side.
Right, I'm going to take her side and believe that well, I don't.
Spill. And then I'm going to text David and be like, you're an asshole.
No, I don't want to get into her business because she also might listen to this. So
okay, fair enough. Well, so we met at that show.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god, this total babe came out. Like, I think you were the first like person like come to a comedy show from the podcast. Certainly the first. I think you might have been the first listener I'd ever like hooked up with.
I thought you had already.
Maybe,
or maybe you told me you did.
I don't know. All I know is like this is like years ago. This is like I think like 3 years ago, and
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm feeling shy all over again. Okay,
good. I like making boys shy.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Mm-hmm. Foreshadowing for later for that reveal. So we hooked up a couple times. You can't. Oh right. Wait, was the show night the night that you jerked me off in the library? Or was that a different night?
Yeah, the library, the bar.
Yeah.
Yes. That was that night.
So for Man Whore Con, there's going to be a fan whore bar crawl, right?
That's going to be one of them?
Yeah. I did last year, and I picked bars that had like significance for me. And then I'm going to pick bars, I'm going to do that again. And so we're doing the comedy show at Lucky Jack's. That's a bar, and as Comedy Fight Club. Then we're going to go. I
was thinking of going to that.
Oh,
I may or may not.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Just
it's good. It's very offensive down there.
Cool.
But the next stop we're going to do is we're going to go to the library, and then for each bar, I'm going to have a little tidbit. But like, here's how it's important to me, and for the library, it's going to be like, yeah, I got jerked off in the back, just like out in the open. No, not even in the bathroom. Just we took my dick out, and no one caught us.
Yep. It was in a booth, though, at least, right?
We were in like a booth, but there's also no. It was like
crowded too, wasn't it?
But in the front of the bar, and in the back, though, there was just no one by us, so we kind of got away with just having a cock out in the open.
Yeah,
and that was fun because I love me some public stuff.
Me too.
What do you do in public?
Anything that anyone will let me do.
Really? I will let you do so many things in public.
Well, okay. So my thing with public sex or public like playing, let's say, I like to be in the moment, when I'm with somebody and you just really want to like touch them, or you're just really like wet or they're hard or something, and it kind of just flows, as opposed to like planning like, let's go to the park and whatever.
So some of these things, some of the things that I plan, like today, like this afternoon. That's why the Motor Bunny's still out. I have to clean it down.
You know what's funny? Whatever episode I listened to, I guess most of them you talked about it, and I looked it up, and I was like, "Fuck, that's expensive." But I was like,
$50 off with promo code ManWhore, baby. Also, very fun fact is you can finance it for like as little as $27 a month or something.
That's crazy.
Which I love because I want like someone to do it and then default, and then a repo man has to be like, yeah, hi, I'm here to repossess some a Motor Bunny, and he doesn't know what it is, and then he finds out it's a vibrator, big fucking vibrator. So like, it sounds like what I did this afternoon you wouldn't be into. This is what I did this afternoon.
Is that why you were late?
No, I had therapy earlier, and then just got this. Yeah,
got it.
So like today at 2:00, this woman from Reddit.
Did you schedule it on this board?
Yeah, it's right there. 2:00. Mun RAOBJ for a random acts of blowjob.
Okay.
For that subreddit I talk about. So we arranged at 2:00. She was to buzz up, come upstairs. The door would be propped open. Let herself in. Go down the hall. You're gonna hear music. That's the room. Just go in, and she would see laid out the Motor Bunny and a blindfold. And she was to prepare herself, take in the room. I can actually probably read. It probably sounds better if I just read the instructions I sent her, because I get very into writing up these things. Okay, this is why I sent her this morning. She already knew what we were doing, but this is the like formal instructions.
Okay.
Let me remind you what's happening. Let me give you some images to anticipate for the next few hours to tempt you into touching your pussy once or twice before 2:00. Don't. You're going to go to my address at 2:00, not before. Ring the middle buzzer and walk up to the second floor. The door will be propped open. Take a deep breath. Smile to yourself before you do this crazy hot thing with a total stranger. Open the door. Shut it behind you. Turn left and walk down the hall. You'll hear music from a room with its door slightly ajar. This is it. In the room, you will see a wonderful contraption, the motor bunny, and a blindfold. Put your stuff down, get comfortable, adjust the AC if you're too hot or cold. Look around the room and become familiar with the unknown. And please don't steal anything, just because I'm very poor. I can't afford it. Pick up the remote, attach to the motor bunny, play with it, and realize, oh, it twirls too. Go ahead and get undressed. Grab the blindfold and lower yourself down onto it. There's lube if you need it. Put the blindfold on and have some fun. Bring yourself to a nice orgasm in a stranger's bedroom. Scream a little if you need to, like it's a hotel room, all for you. Get into it, so much so that you don't hear me come in. You don't realize I'm just a foot away stroking my cock. I want you to be surprised when my cock head touches your lips, probably mid-moan. After that, well, you know what to do with that pretty mouth of yours. If you seem too distracted to blow me, I may just have to take the controls away from you and adjust the dials myself. When my cum is dripping out of your mouth, or when you need off the bunny, I'll give you a kiss, remove the blindfold, and get you some water. And then some talks about like boundary stuff, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So like that was like this big, I planned like the planning is part of the foreplay and excitement for me type of thing. It sounds like you're like, fuck that. Like I just want to do it when I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like planning. I feel like planning takes out a lot of the excitement for me. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
No, absolutely. What's like a spontaneous public encounter you've had?
Let's think. I haven't had anything fun lately, so I feel like this goes back to college. Well, actually, so a funny thing with most of my friends is that a lot of them have seen guys that I date just like sucking on my boobs in bars because I just...
With your boobs out in the open?
Yeah, because I usually wear low cut things, so all you have to do is just like pull it down a little and...
Sorry, can you demonstrate again? No.
I didn't really take it out though. Yeah, so that's like a fun thing to do because also like normal people don't really notice it. You know, guys just kind of like on your shoulder and like whatever.
So do just take your tits out at bars and suck on them,
but not. No,
like discreetly.
Saying no.
Okay, you tell me.
How you said it does not.
Oh, you're
no,
saying
like,
it the way it sounds. It sounds bad once I finally say it out loud.
No, it's not like some random guy. No,
not random guys,
like,
but like if you're out with a date.
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay.
I definitely have had sex like in like see, everything sounds so gross. Like an alleyway.
I don't think that's gross. I have a specific alley that I want to fuck in that I just haven't yet.
Where?
I've been waiting for years. It's down in like the financial district.
I was just there today. That's so fucking random.
Yeah, it's by like the Broad Street J Stop. I think it's called. I don't want to say. I don't want to give away the spot. But like I've had my eye on that alley for so many years, and I've just been waiting for the right person to fuck in it.
Interesting.
There's also like an L train stop or two that like I really want to do stuff in.
All right.
Yeah. I walk through life and I don't see like beautiful landscape.
It's
I just
see
see
places to fuck.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's good for blowjobs.
You know what? I actually do that, or I used to. I don't anymore. I'm too old now. But I used to do that about bathrooms. Like if I went to a bar with like a nice sized bathroom that's like pretty, I'm like this. I'm taking somebody I want to fuck.
Yeah, exactly. I do that. I'm like a location scout, but for public sex. I want to do like an Instagram account. Now that I'm like used to I've only just gotten Instagram in the last year. So like I'm finally comfortable with it. I want to start one where it's just like reviewing bathrooms in New York City to have sex in.
Oh my God, I thought the same thing once.
Oh my God, we should team up. We should
right?
make the thing.
My favorite thing, and it wasn't personal, it was work related. I took a client to the Cooper Square Hotel. Mm-hmm. I told him to stay there, though. We had dinner in the restaurant, and we both went to the bathroom, like, after dinner. I took it, because it was basically just a bunch of stalls in the basement. So I took him into one. I handcuffed him to the rail. I had, like, a strap-on cock, and I made him, like, suck my cock in the bathroom. And then we went up to his room and whatever, had a session.
Okay,
Not
that's
a prostitute.
Yeah, that's a distinction. A client, whatever client could that possibly be?
Yes, I'm a dominatrix, not or sex worker.
Escort.
Escort.
Yeah, I
there
guess
you go.
we'd say escort. Yeah. You don't do full service.
Yes.
Yeah, is what we would say, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, that's and you're still doing. And how long have you been doing that?
Since I was like 24, 25.
And I don't know how old you are.
I'm so like 12 years, let's say.
Oh my. Okay.
Well, I'm turning 36, so I'm 24, 25, like
Right.
11, 12, whatever.
Amazing.
I know I don't look.
I know you're gorgeous. Not that 36-year-olds can't be gorgeous, but she looks gorgeous as 25. She doesn't look like a gorgeous 36.
Youthful spirit though too.
I'm in trouble already for whatever I just said. So
That's fine.
okay, not with you. Just someone's gonna be like, Billy.
No, it's just because I'm making you nervous. They should understand that.
Yeah. Well, look, it's odd. I haven't seen you probably like about 3 years.
Yeah.
You were someone who I certainly enjoyed having sex. What do we fuck, like once or twice? We met up more than once, but I think I don't think we actually had sex more than once or twice.
Yeah, the first time we didn't have sex, I guess, and second time obviously we did, and then I don't know if we hung out.
We kept trying to though. There's a lot of scheduling mishaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't. So you were someone I wanted to continue. Seeing, and then that stopped happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, so maybe I'm a little nervous. And you're also so very, very, very attractive.
Thank you. I'm sitting on your bed.
And you're on my bed, so I'm all sorts of nervous and whatever right now.
Good.
Such fucking sadistic. But wait, remind me, you're not necessarily sadistic in your personal sex life, are you?
No.
Do you switch, or are you just pretty much more submissive?
No, I'm definitely more submissive. I like a more dominant guy.
Right. Unless you're on a podcast and you're like, well, let me see if I can tease this guy.
Yes, but that is something that I like being teased, and I like to tease guys. I think that's fun.
Well, what would be such a tease is taking your tits out would be very teasing. No. Well, what's it like for you meeting up, seeing someone that you hooked up with a few times that I guess ended more poorly than I thought?
No, I mean, it didn't end horribly.
Not horribly, but apparently it was a little
I was
more
just
contentious.
mad. I mean, whatever. That's how I get. It wasn't that serious.
So if I had reached out, was there a chance that we could have gotten together again if I had let some time pass from that discussion?
I don't know, because I was also dating people, so timing might not have been right. And now because I'm old,
Hardly.
I kind of just want a relationship. So I'm a little bit celibate currently.
But by choice, in that you're not fucking people casually.
Yeah, by choice, but also I haven't found somebody good enough. Men suck right now.
What do you mean right now?
I don't know. Men are just so dumb. I think.
Was I dumb?
No.
Okay.
No, but I think, especially with the whole Me Too movement, I feel like a lot of guys are just scared, and it's very important for me to date somebody who would call themselves a feminist, and a lot of guys are very reluctant for some reason, so they're out.
Do you want to, I don't know their reason. Do you want to know why I don't?
You don't call yourself a feminist?
I don't call myself one.
Okay, but if somebody asked you, you would say yes.
That would still be calling myself one.
Oh, okay. So Why don't you?
There's a lot of fucking baggage with being a guy, especially with this face, and saying, yeah, I'm a feminist. You fuck up once. Not a big fuck up. I'm not talking about like you do one thing. What does it instantly go to? Fake feminist. He's using feminism to get laid, which what a world that would be if men were just using. I say go for it.
Oh my God. I dated a guy who did that. So that happens.
That's the thing. But also, like, I kind of wish all men would try some feminism to get, if that was their motivation, fuck it. Let's let them get on board with like trying to get laid and they might actually learn something. You know what I mean?
I guess my fake feminist ended up being a stalker. So
right, but that's but the issue is not the fake feminist; it's the stalking. But like, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of accusations if you don't do everything exactly the right way. And I'm just kind of not about that. I'm just trying to be a funny person. And if people call me a feminist, oh well. I like to say I get accused of being a feminist all the time.
That works,
and I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, that's
you know,
cute.
I just have my beliefs. I know what they are. Believe in gender equality. I believe in the equality of a lot of different groups of people. Not vegans. Fuck them. You know, they don't deserve any rights. And including the right to vote. Strip that one too. You want to vote? Eat a fucking piece of bacon. Okay. Yes. And so yeah, that's why I don't, because I know there's a lot of baggage attached to it if I don't do something correct, and I don't want to deal with that.
Okay.
So that's why I don't. I'm just like, hey, look, I'm gonna do the thing. And if you call me a feminist, then I guess maybe I'm doing something right.
Okay. So that makes sense.
Right.
I can understand that. But so obviously if somebody were to ask you, you wouldn't say like, no, they're crazy. Like, feminist.
No. I would if they ask.
Those are the kind of people that.
Yeah. Well, there's other dudes who just go like they think feminists want to wipe out men, and that's why they don't.
And I mean, so I'm a little bit opinionated. I'm a little loud sometimes. So I
give that a few more months and then you're no longer allowed to have opinions.
Right. Yes. So I'm not man hating, but I'm definitely the type of woman to say like, you know, all men suck, because they do. Yeah. And I think like that kind of scares people.
Sure.
But
what's great is I already know that I suck. So I feel like I'm kind of ahead of the game here.
Good.
So are you like active? Sorry, nervous. Fucking what the fuck?
Going?
I don't know. I'm also trying to like not hit on you, and also like I fail. Wait, you run this thing. You clearly.
Well, I can tell you a sad, funny thing I wanted to do. So I've gotten off online dating because everyone I met kind of sucked, and I think I need to meet somebody in person to like feel energy. I'm very like attracted to good energy, right? Okay. So I was gonna go to
no more podcast hosts?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
no. I was gonna go to a park with a sign that said like 5-minute dates and just like sit and wait for people to talk to me, and kind of like Tinder Live, basically. Just
do it.
Yes, I was thinking...
Have a friend nearby for safety, but like do it.
Yeah, well, I was kind of hoping like one of my friends would do it with me and we can like, be in solidarity. Like,
a chick friend or a guy friend?
Doesn't matter. But I don't know... So as I was thinking about this, I just went randomly to Washington Square Park. I don't think I would do it there because it's too many young kids. But... I just wanted to see, like, if I would really, like, if I had the sign and people were passing by, like, how I would feel. And I don't know how I would deal with somebody I wasn't attracted to or, like, wasn't interesting. I feel like I'm just putting myself out there. Or, like, people taking pictures of me, you know, because that's, like, a big thing. Because I have so I don't know that I actually want to do it.
Oh. Well, if you want to do it, I think I'd be down.
Yeah?
Either to pop by for a 5-minute date or to have my own like table next to you, and then the people want to go date the dude.
And then we'll just laugh at each other and at our people coming. Okay.
Yeah. And can I make a suggestion? If you're like worried about the people you don't want to date, cut down the time.
Yeah.
3 minutes. You know what? It's 4. I'm just saying, it's like I host speed dating events on the side, and it's like people complain that 3 minutes isn't enough time, and I'm like,
no, it is.
It's it's enough time to know you want to see them again.
Exactly.
And if it's a bad date, it feels like fucking forever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of doing speed dating also. I saw one for like hung guys.
Yeah, that's my company.
Oh, really?
Hung Speed Dating, yeah. On speeddating.com.
Yeah.
Use the code like Billy5.
Oh, weird. Okay.
I have a promo code for everything.
But I thought, I mean...
You go to your local bodega, you could probably say like promo code Manwhore and they'll probably give you something for free. I don't know.
Perfect. All right.
But wait, so you want to try speed dating?
I think so. Just to see. I mean, I don't know what could come of that, but...
All right. I could probably make that happen.
Okay.
So you've been doming. You're
Yes.
still doing that though.
Mm-hmm.
And but you're not sadistic in your personal life.
No.
So for you, is it like acting, or do you like is it just pure?
I guess it's a little bit like acting. I don't know. I think it really helps my relationships because I have many sides to me, and one of those sides is I can be a little snobby. So, it just works out. And so I only have 2 clients. It's kind of like I'm an escort without the sex for the most part. Cause I travel around with one, whatever. But
And you get by with just having 2 clients, or is
Yeah.
it that you only have 2 clients because like things are kind of slow?
No, I'm very, 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 thank God, fortunate that I only need those 2.
They're
and I'm
just
okay.
2 very. They're a couple of
Lucrative.
whales. Yeah.
Yes, I got very lucky, thank God. So yeah, when I go to Vegas a lot with one of my clients, and he flies me first class and takes me shopping and whatever. I can gamble with his money and it's great. And I feel like I get out like my snobbiness with him, and like if he annoys me, I can take it out on him, you know, in the evening. Although I really don't like doing that. Like if he really does get me angry, I don't like it to be like a real...
You only want the anger to be like kind of fake, playful anger.
Yeah, like fun, where it's... If I am too angry, I usually just like lock him in a closet.
Wait, what? If you're real angry, you lock him in the closet.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done
You
that.
just said you didn't want to like use the real anger for
No, but if I'm working, because if I'm working and he says something, because I mean, you know, he's a guy and he's stupid. So if he says something that angers me, instead of hitting him out of anger,
because he would want that.
yeah, I put him in like a timeout, like
It's
he's a child.
Yeah, it's like brattiness, though, right? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's doing it because he wants to get hit, and you're not gonna satisfy that.
Yeah.
What could he say that would like upset you?
I don't know. Like, I think he really believes that one day I'm going to be his girlfriend. And so I can't even think of like something he said, but along those lines, like just where it's just inappropriate.
He's just like, one day we're gonna get married. Get in the closet.
Exactly. Something
And
like
that
that.
sums up kind of all my relationships between the ages of 20 and 25. Hey, I really like you. Shut up and fuck me. Keep your...
That doesn't sound that bad.
I mean, you know, it was a time of my life and led me to start this nonsense.
Yeah. I think I remember that from the earlier podcasts I would listen to.
Yeah, back when I was a bit of a little bitch.
Are you not anymore?
I mean, like, I can be if, I don't know, like if it's fun and flirty and sexy. Like if it's, like there's someone I've like started seeing, I mean, like I've been on one date, but it was like a 22-hour date, you know? It was like I went to Philly and we made it like a thing of it. And so she's a little bit more leading, dominating. And so I was like, I phrased it as like I was melting under her. I was like, I'm just, like, whatever you want. You tell me, you decide. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But you like that though, right? So
Yeah. Like that's what I want. Like I want to kind of revert into like a small space. And it takes a certain type of personality to do that. I guess sometimes it's me being like I'm generally a pleaser. That's not a thing I like have to go into.
Yeah.
And I'm very service oriented, but sometimes with certain people, I can get into a bit of like this like small space. I kind of regress a bit. Like I don't know, like a childlike nervousness. Like I might cuddle up into them a little bit more and get like almost like curl my body so that they can hold me. And like, I want someone to like take charge, but also like take care of me.
Yeah.
And my subbiness allows me to switch it up. So like I've had a couple exes who like loved it when I took charge and spank. Like I had to learn how to spank. That was a thing I had to learn to do. But like I can spank really well.
It is funny though, being with a guy who doesn't really know how to spank you. It's a little bit weird because as a girl, it's like, what is happening?
I'm sure you're taught to like expect a guy to spank.
Yeah.
And then we're just like, nope, that's, like in 6th grade when they separated us for health class, like you go off to learn about periods. They didn't like teach us how to spank in the other room. That wasn't part of the deal. So it's like, I had to like actively learn that, but like I can take charge. I can like grab the back of a head. I can make like very intense eye contact. I can say the word stuff. So like we're with the chick who came over today, we did like forced orgasms. She says she has a very sensitive pussy.
God damn it.
Didn't know like how she.
I'm so jealous of people
who do yeah. You're like someone forced me to have one, please. So I was like making the dial go higher than what was comfortable for her, and just be like, you can take it, you can, I'm doing all that stuff. I can do that, and I can get hard as a rock during it, but only if I know that's what they want.
Yeah,
I would never default to that.
Right. I
do it because like I know that's what they enjoy. So like if like with you, like I could take charge with you or try to.
Yeah.
But I would only do that because like I would know, like she likes this type of dude and this type of sex, and I can do that because it makes her happy, and I like making people happy.
Yeah.
That's how I get there.
Right. I think that's also my thing. Like I get off knowing somebody that I'm making somebody feel good. So whatever they're into, I kind of like want to do, but it's harder for me to switch in like a real relationship. Because I think I also it's very, I think of it as work. So.
Yeah, you want to feel like you're working with like a boyfriend.
Yeah.
But you were taking charge. I mean, like I was certainly not leading the way when we were when we hooked up. Even at the library, like, yeah, we're making out, you're jerking me off in the back. But when we were outside, like, my cock came out. My cock just falls out all over the place. I was wearing very low cut pants, I guess. And like we were up against like an ATM, and it came out again there. And then you were like, no, like you're not going to come. And like had me leave
right
with
in the
blue
street
balls.
too. Like,
Yeah, loved it.
I was busy.
Yeah, it wasn't like a side street. It wasn't like, East 26th.
Yeah.
It was fucking, Essex.
Yeah.
At Essex and Delancey. Like we were right under it all. We're ballsy.
Yeah.
And like even when we were like back at my apartment, I remember you kind of leading the way or being in charge a bit. At least that's what I remember. What do you remember of like of the time? Because I think there's some people who wonder like, what is Billy like in beds? And now you have no obligations to be nice to me, so you can.
Well, truthfully, I don't remember too much because it was so long ago.
It's fair,
but
that's the reasonable thing that's the reasonable way to be, as opposed to somebody asking you 3 years later to talk about it on a microphone to strangers.
Yeah.
I'm the weirdo for even asking.
But yeah, I remember when we were on the street, but that's my thing. Like I don't see it so much as dominant or taking control. I just like to tease a guy where he just wants me, because I also just want somebody to like want me. So, you know what I mean? Like that gets me off, like seeing desire from them and like whatever. So yeah, so me teasing a guy works for both of us. But then when we actually did have sex, I don't remember being like dominant. I feel like you were on top, you were behind me probably, and like I don't know.
Not memorable is I think what we're sex with Billy Procida, not that memorable, and that's correct.
Well, it's not memorable because it was 3 years ago. I mean, had you asked me a year ago, I probably would have remembered. Also, I have a bad memory.
That's fine. That's fine. In your old age.
Apologies. Yes, I'm old. I'm old, man.
Yeah. So what are you doing to date now? You don't seem sold on the speed dating in the park thing.
Yeah, I haven't been doing anything. So I was on OkCupid because I like reading profiles.
Okay. It's a fun pastime.
So, well, when I was on Tinder, I would just swipe left on everybody because, I mean, no one's interesting enough for me to swipe right on a picture. Like, I would need to hear what you say first.
You need to hear, like, I don't know, 30 episodes of a podcast. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming.
Exactly. So I recently dated, I guess 2 people. I met somebody in October. That was the guy who ended up being kind of like stalkery. And then I met somebody in, what month are we in? July?
Yeah.
In May. And he actually lived in South Carolina. He was like this doctor from South Carolina. He's cute. He's trying to like.
How'd you meet?
Okay.
Okay.
And then he came to New York. We met once, and we had sex. And I mean, it wasn't the best, and it wasn't the worst, but I don't know. It went into like this weird where he was still talking to me and like making plans, and we had discussed me going to visit him. And then he just like stopped responding to my text messages. So I was like, all right, I'm not done with online dating.
Do you see yourself wanting a husband? Like, do you see yourself wanting to get married?
I do want to get married. I don't want kids. I want a husband who, because I have a lot of free time and a decent amount of money. So
benefit, yeah.
I like to go on vacations a lot. I like to be on a lovely, pretty beach with pretty water. So I would love somebody who would be able to like do that with me.
Well, you were telling me before you're thinking about maybe even hiring someone that you could just take with you.
Yes. So, yes, before we recorded, I was telling Billy that...
In confidence, apparently not.
One of my favorite gigolo was on the show, and I just kind of wanted to, I guess, know what he was like. But
we're talking about Nick Hawk, everyone.
Yes, Nick Hawk. I watched him on the Gigolo show on Showtime. And, I mean, he's my type, right? Like physically totally my type. And I go to Vegas a lot. So I was like, fuck it. Like when my client pays me to go like hang out with him, I'll just go like early or stay later and then see this guy and like see, cause also I've been working like a bunch of different like sex work jobs in my life. Look at your face.
Do tell.
I started in a foot fetish place.
Okay.
I did phone sex. I worked in a dungeon. I worked doing phones in a massage place.
But not actually doing massages.
Yeah, no.
Basically, you're like, you've never been paid to touch the dicks.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm always on like the outskirts and the seediness.
I wouldn't say like necessarily the outskirts is a different thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, whatever. So
it's like we don't have to get into hierarchy right now. Yeah.
So I've just always been curious what it's like to be a customer. And like the anticipation of like waiting for someone to come into your room and giving them money. And then I thought like, you know, maybe he can make me come. I don't know.
Probably.
Right, exactly. So like maybe it'll be money well spent, but I don't necessarily know if I'm going to spend it on him.
Why on earth not?
I think our personalities, I mean, not that even that matters, right? Because like,
it's an escort,
right?
Like during a session, I imagine he's like playing kind of a character,
right? He is who I would want him to be. I imagine he would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about that because also he's kind of expensive. I think it's like $4,000 is the minimum. So
well, yeah,
if I'm gonna like waste that much money, I'm gonna have to really really want to have him.
Well, you said favorite gigolo. Does that mean you have like...
Well, that's why I said one of, and then that's why I corrected my favorite, because I don't have other.
Okay, because I was going to be like, that'd be interesting if you're just like, I've got like a whole bunch of favorites.
Yeah, no. No, although I did look on his website, Cowboys for Angels, I believe it is.
Yeah, it's where he's listed on, yeah.
I looked at the other guys in Vegas and in New York. A lot of, or not maybe a lot of them, but a couple of them didn't have pictures, obviously, I get it. But the ones that did have their picture up, I wasn't really super into. Yeah.
And so you don't do listings anymore?
No.
When was the last time you had to like actively try to get new clients?
Probably like 5 years ago.
Okay. Wow. Very lucky.
Yeah.
So the whole Fossa thing isn't even really hitting you at all.
No, but you know what's really funny? So right before that whole thing started, I was thinking about doing another ad, and I was like, I don't necessarily need to, but why not?
Yeah.
Right? Like, maybe I should. And then that happened, and I was like, this is a sign, apparently, that I should not do it. And like, just stick with these two guys, because, yeah, I mean, I also used to throw like fetish parties, and I used to advertise on Backpage all the time. Also, I used to do double sessions. There was this girl, I had like so many gimmicks in my
Yeah.
So I used to run into a client like on the street randomly, because like in the 30s it's all like Dungeon Alley, or it used to be. It's not really anymore. Or maybe you don't know.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Tell me, please.
So
I want to learn things.
Most of the dungeons, when I started at least, were all around like the 30s.
Okay.
And so I think
like all Koreatown and whatnot?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
from like 28 to 30, whatever.
Sure.
So I think walking to one maybe, or just like walking down the street, but also in that area, I would always run into this one particular guy. And I had never seen him, because I wasn't working as a dom at the time. I was just doing phones for the dungeon.
Sure.
And he was convinced that I had a session with him. And he was like, no, remember you like gave me that golden shower? And that was like something that I like that wasn't my thing, like.
It's not your specialty.
Right. So, and also I wasn't doing sessions at all. And I was like, yeah, no, that was definitely not me. So I later found out that there was some chick who looked like me. So I like seeked her out, and she had like retired. And I was like, no, listen, we have to do sister sessions.
That's brilliant.
Exactly. So.
And then we upcharge for the, yeah.
Exactly. But the problem was that she didn't really look like me.
Oh.
So I met her, and I was like, oh, well, I guess guys are stupid. Like, whatever.
Guys are dumb. They suck.
Yeah, like, we can pull this off. Like, I guess we have, like, sort of the same shade.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's enough. It'd almost be, if you look different enough, the guys would just be like, wow, maybe this, that happens sometimes. The siblings don't look that much alike. And who would be so bold to list themselves as sisters if they weren't? So they must be.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Guys just build whatever fantasy they want in their head anyway about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were doing sessions for a little bit. It didn't work out because ultimately she didn't want to continue working. And I mean,
she didn't want to come out of retirement for it. She's like, I saw what happened to Jordan when he went to the Wizards.
Wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Do you ever see yourself retiring in the near future?
I worry about that because I feel like, I mean, I know that in the sex industry, there is somebody for everybody. So you can work until you're like 90 and it doesn't really matter. I don't know if I want to do that though.
Right.
I kind of thought like maybe when I'm 40, that'll be good enough. But
are you like saving?
Yeah, I have a bunch of, I mean, I have savings, but I don't know what I would do afterwards. So
you don't have the backup, you don't have the retirement plan yet.
Yeah. I need a rich husband is my retirement
plan. Then I continue to strike out with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I want to like own my own business or own my own like bar, speakeasy or something like something, whatever. I don't know. Something stupid like that.
I could see you owning a bar. I could see you owning like a Coyote Ugly type place.
Right? Like something fun.
Yeah. Being like the hot older owner who doesn't look her age. Yeah. Fucks random dudes in the bathroom, calls it her office.
Yes.
She actually has a third bathroom built in the place, and it was very expensive and not wise to do so. Her business manager said it's taking up space where we could have more patrons. She's like, no, I need my fuck office that is looking like a bathroom.
Yes.
Your desk is a desk, but the seat is actually just a toilet seat, just because you really want to feel the thing.
Yeah. When I was younger, I always had like this vision of having like a secret dungeon in the like back or something, and like, you know, secret sessions happening, but I mean, I don't know about that.
Well, it will be interesting the day you retire.
Yeah, won't it be?
Yeah. What if somebody wanted to take you on as a new client? Like, what would you? It would have to be a lot of money. I'm assuming, right?
If somebody wanted to take me on as a new client. Yeah, I don't know. They'd have to really convince me.
Yeah, it'd have to really be worth your while.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably, I mean, I don't even know because I would only do an hour, right? Probably. So 300 isn't a lot for an hour, but he would have to be really like compelling. Like I would have to have fun.
Wait, 300 isn't a lot for an hour, no? I thought maybe like he could make it worth your while, like financially, be like, oh, I will overpay for an hour. For a session.
Like a real.
I mean, someone being like, oh, I really want a session with you. I know you're not taking new clients, so can I buy my way into your client base?
No, because that's the thing. Like, I don't really need the money, so I guess they could give me a lot of money, but I'm more interested in what they want to do and if it's fun for me.
What's fun for you?
If somebody offers me like $10,000, but they're boring, like I don't care. I don't want to see you.
Okay, and just refer him like my way. Like I'll find someone who will split that referral with me. 10 grand's a lot of fucking money. Okay.
Yeah.
But what's fun for you? Like what would stimulate you as a dom?
I don't know. Like I have never actually done like a corporal session.
What's corporal?
Like caning, just a lot of pain, blood.
Oh.
Like that's what I think of when I think of corporal. Like so when I was working phones in the dungeon, there was one guy who would come in who would like to be, you know, shackled, whatever, and just caned till he bled, and then there were like blood stains on the wall. I feel like because I've never done something like that before, like I would be intrigued enough to think about it.
Have you sounded dudes?
No, you know what's funny? So I look young now, right? When I was starting, figured 24, right? I went to New Orleans with a boyfriend and we went into the sex shop and we were looking at like all the weird things that they have at sex shops. And there was like metal rods. And he was like, what are those? And there was like an old man worker behind the counter. Let
me tell you, kid.
No, but I started explaining it to him and like what they use for, whatever. And the guy behind the counter just looked at me like, why does this young girl know what sounds are?
Oh, the day I figured out what that was, it was terrifying. It was a very sad, emotional day for me.
Yeah. Have you used them?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, okay.
I did stick a Q-tip in my dick a couple times.
For fun? For funsies?
To like see the whole sound, to try the stimulation of that, and I didn't own a fucking sound. I just, okay, it was like, what's going to fit in there that doesn't have ink in it, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever told anyone about this, like off mic, on mic, ever. Okay, this is weird. My sophomore year of college, would like Skype sex with this woman in California. We had hooked up once from Craigslist, like Valentine's Day night. I think she's the first woman to stick a finger in my ass. Okay. And she had very long nails. So that was, it didn't hurt, but I was very nervous. And we just kept that. I didn't find her attractive, but like I liked the attention because she was like 40 And so she liked that there was this like 19-year-old kid who was like giving her all this sexual energy and attention. So, we would do a lot of Skype stuff. So I would like sneak into the bathroom where the roommates weren't where like I could get away from my roommates and, jerk off for her, put things in my ass. And then I tried some of the sounding. And one of the times I did, one time I remember it was just like, ow, no. I remember one time I did it and like very briefly, like it actually did feel good. And I was like, I guess I tapped into whatever those nerve endings were in there in the urethra. And it was like, but then pulling it out to take it out. Yep. That hurt again. I was like, oh no, that's why we don't do this.
Yeah.
Also I'm like, now I've never tried it again since, but I'd be too nervous to like break something in there.
Yeah.
Time for the fan whore appreciation moment. Okay. This is the part of the podcast where I like to thank some of the members of my fan whore community on Patreon. That fan whore community, it's our fan club subscription, people. You ever been part of a fan club? No? Oh, well, you should better start right now because this is how you get a shout out. Thank you to Keith Redmond. Welcome back, dude. I know you had to cancel your pledge for a bit, but now you're back in the champagne room and we're happy to fucking have you. Shout out to Evan Glynn. Thank you so much, dear sir. I can't find any information on you. So I want to say you are really good at not being found. Thanks for the support. And a big thank you to Alexander Gazzard Weldon, who he and his hubsters seem to be really into like Pokemon and Digimon and Animon and Monmon and other weird fake animal game things. I hope you catch them all. I don't know how many there are, but just go for it. Best of luck to you, sir. And thank you for your membership. And you too can become a member for as little as $1 per month. That $1 per month can get you access to super secret fan whore communities and bonus episodes of the Man Whore podcast. Can you afford a higher level of membership? Yeah, it's kind of like Scientology. The higher up you're in, the more benefits you get. You get more bonus episodes. You get access to our naked picture sharing group, The Peep Show on Kick. Get access to so many things. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. It's also, I know this is not always the most important part to some people, but membership helps support the show. So become a member, get those bonus episodes, become a part of our discussion group in the Champagne Room. Go to Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. And now let's go ahead and wrap up with Nicole.
Yeah, I've never been trained in that.
You got to be specially trained? I hope so.
Well, you know what's funny? So, when I was first trained, my favorite story ever of working, and I could have retired and I hadn't even started. It was just the best situation. So, the chick who was training us, she had this like gay porn star friend.
Okay.
And we were doing like strap-on stuff with him. So they had this sex swing in the room we were in. And so he's in there and he's like all lubed up. And I think I don't think I went first. I might have went second. So we saw like the first chick go.
Oh, they were doing a little like gangbang for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I went and it was the fucking hottest thing that I've ever done ever in my fucking life. And he was just like sweating and like into it. And he had to tell me to stop. He's like, I'm going to come and then I can't let the other girls fuck me. So you have to stop. But then he like talked to me after and he was like, oh my God, you were fucking great. Like, do you want to like meet up after? I was like,
yeah.
No, I was like,
And this is a gay porn star.
Yes.
Right.
So then I called my boyfriend at
He's
the
like,
time.
I've never felt this way about a woman with a cock before.
Yeah, I was like, look at me. So I called my boyfriend and I told him about it and his first like reaction was, is that legal?
No, it's not. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, I was stupid too. Like Because also, like, at that time when I was first trained, I think I was like 22, and then I like decided not to do it. And like, well, anyway.
But that was really hot for you, and yet you were in a dominant position.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
Have you pegged dudes for fun since then?
Well, so that boyfriend that I was speaking to, I ended up, like, you know, when I was blowing him, like, would put a finger in his ass.
Nice.
He was into it. But no, I haven't had a desire to peg any. But that's the thing is, like,
so it
I
was
feel
like
like
a one thing.
Yeah, it was really hot in that situation. I don't think that I would enjoy it in a real relationship.
This real relationship that you are seeking, that you hope to find one day.
Yeah.
What are some qualities in a dude that you're looking for?
I need somebody who I like masculine men. I like assertive men. I like I don't know, it's a hard question to answer.
These are all valid answers.
Yeah, I need somebody who I feel like we were talking about before, energy. Like, I just need somebody who I have like good connection with, and you know, but usually like masculine type men.
And see, now what I respond to in that is that I am so not any of that, and yet you sought me out, and so I'm curious, what was it about me that you were interested in?
Well, I like that you were open sexually. Like, I like people who can talk about sex and who, like, this is what I like, and like, also I was attracted to you. Yeah.
But and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I certainly don't look like Nick Hawk, Mr. Ripped, jacked man. And I actually think
most guys don't.
Right. And I think I'd actually, you know, I'd been like in a doughier phase of my life at that point. I think I'm in better shape now than I was then. So I find it interesting.
I don't remember you being in bad shape. I know that you say that a lot, but I don't.
Fair. That part aside, but just the idea is like, I don't think I look like a He-Man masculine person.
Right. Well, that's, yes. So when I say I mean, you know, muscles are lovely. Who doesn't like muscles? I don't know. But yeah, that's not necessary. It's just like an attitude. Like, do you have a masculine attitude?
See, the part of me that wants to have sex with you again is trying to stop me from saying, like, I just watched Nanette and cried my eyes out.
Oh, I like, you know what's so weird? I don't know why people are like, I saw it. I was into it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but also I want somebody who can be in touch with their emotions. So like a guy who can cry and not like.
I'm back in, everybody. Hold on. No.
Yeah, I just, you know, don't want an asshole. That's all.
And I'm out. Sorry. Shit.
So close.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That's wild. Are you worried about ever lowering your standards then? Like if you don't find the person?
No.
Okay.
I'll be alone forever.
Cool. It's celibate.
Yeah.
Or maybe you'll be like, you know, I can try some casual sex or something. Just keep me sane.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's only been a couple of months since I've been celibate, so it's not getting to me yet, I guess.
So I should text you in how many months to try again? What do you is there a world where we get together again, do you think?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
All right. I got a maybe, everyone. I got a maybe.
Yeah. I'm not against it.
Okay. As she raises her eyebrow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to answer that.
I mean, no is also an answer. Like, you know, there are many ways to answer that.
No, my maybe was
That's cool. That's good.
Accurate.
I'll take that. Nicole, I'm really happy you agreed to do this because you weren't an easy sell. I've asked you a few times. So you've only recently come around. Was there any reason that made you kind of change your mind?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just
Caught you at the right
more,
time.
Yeah. Got lucky.
Nicole, any other thoughts? Any other things to share?
I don't think
Anything on your mind?
No.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. Comfortable.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn on the AC.
Okay, I will do that when we turn these off. Yeah, I think with that, I'm gonna go back to being nervous in front of you because it's fun.
Okay.
I do enjoy doing that.
Perfect.
Which is interesting because I like sometimes when I being nervous, it's a choice sometimes. I'm gonna choose to be nervous and vulnerable and
Yeah.
I don't know, I like it.
It's a good choice.
Stop it. You're gonna make me go into that space. And I don't make a lot of eye contact in that space. Nicole, you were fantastic. Thank you so much for coming back. And it was wonderful catching up with you. And
yeah, it's fun.
Why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
Oh, these, it never gets old catching up with, reconnecting with exes, man. Very much enjoyed seeing her again. When I opened my door when she was walking up the stairs, I genuinely forgot how gorgeous she is. I remember, I remember the color of her hair. I remember the complexion of her skin. I remember she's very attractive, but when she walked up the stairs, I was like, oh, fuck, you're really hot. Shit. I gotta try to be professional now. If you go over to my social media, you'll be able to actually see a picture of Nicole. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheBillyPresida. Or you can go to the Man Whore Podcast Facebook fan page. Click that like button. There's going to be a bunch of awesome updates and pictures and fun stuff about Man Whore Con. But we also share all sorts of other fun content like articles and memes and the like. You want to stay up to date with all the latest Man Whore Podcast news, get a part of that mailing list. Go to manwhorepod.com. Sign up today. We may even be giving something out in the near future. Last but certainly not least, become a member of our fan whore community on Patreon to get access to secret sex-positive discussion groups, bonus episodes of the Man Whore Podcast, and much more. Membership begins at just $1. Head on over to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Next week, we have a really, really awesome episode with Lamont Baldwin. He is a fellow podcaster who, guess what, talks to his exes about why they didn't work out on the show Hella Single. Really excited to share that episode with you next week. But until then, everybody, stay slutty! I'm really only just putting that there to see how many people reach out to me to say, hey, Billy, I do listen all the way through to the end, and that was fucking weird. Thanks for bearing with me. Really just a test.